Um, so the people who need to leave can. I won't be offended. And it's nice to actually hear Amit and Shumona before this, because it's a nice sort of segue to, in terms of sensibility. I too am a Bengali like them. I too am diasporic in the sense that I grew up, born and brought up in Delhi with three mother tongues, Bangla, Hindi, and English. And of course, as Indians, we understand and understand a few more. So I've even translated from Urdu poetry, and I read Urdu in Devanagari, of course. But I want to actually start the evening with a dedication, because we've just lost one of our senior poets, Eunice D'Souza, who you see on the wall on the right. And it's perhaps fitting that we dedicate the first day to Eunice. Eunice was also a very good friend of Adil, and Amit read a poem on Adil. And this is a poem I wrote for my mother, who I lost not that long ago. And it's really a tribute to people who've left a lasting impression in our lives. The problem with India in some senses is we pretend that we feel a lot, and we have this public show of grief and sadnesses. But I don't know how much we mean, because when I lost my mother, I was actually traveling. I wasn't in Delhi. She was rushed into the hospital, and when I got back, she was already dead, and she was in a frozen canister in the hospital. I came back. I couldn't see my mother or my mother's dead body for about a week or so, because forms had to be filled, hospital bills had to be paid, rituals had to be done, people had to be fed and appeased before I could even grieve for my mother. So it's a very ironic kind of situation we are in, where we talk about loved ones, but we can't really actually even shed a tear. So it's simply called Ma. As if in a dream, you disappeared unannounced, untimely, and unprepared. The handwritten diary you left behind weepingly revealed your sordid, searing pain. Grief-struck, I ran around the city's municipal offices, rummaging through bureaucratic files, seeking your death certificate for validation, as if losing you wasn't loss enough. We are living in very difficult times, and there's always some war or the other that is going on around us. We in India are very lucky because we have skirmishes at the border, but imagine people in Aleppo or Syria or anywhere, at any given moment there are wars. So this actually revisits our last war we had with Pakistan. The poem is called Kargil. It's a newish old poem. I was actually very specifically asked by a few people in the audience who I don't know, who I met for the first time. They want me to read this poem. This was written 10 years after the Kargil war. And at the time, my young son and I were doing this 2-month trip by road, by kayak, by trekking. We went to Ladakh from Delhi. And again, he died last year. There are too many people dying in my lives. His name is Derek Walcott. He won the Nobel Prize in 1992. And I quote from his poem, Teopola's Hound, as an epigraph to the poem. Our street of smoke and fences, gutters gorged with weed and reeking, scorching iron grooves of rusted galvanize, a dialect forged from burning asphalt, and a sky that moves with burning, with thunderhead cumuli, grumbling with rain. 10 years on, I came searching for war signs of the past, expecting remnants, magazine debris, unexploded shells, shrapnels that mark bomb wounds. I came looking for ghosts, people past, skeletons charred, abandoned brick, wood, cement that once housed them. I could only find whispers, whispers among the clamor of a small town outpost in full throttle, everyday chores sketching outward signs of normalcy and life. In that bustle, I spot war lines of a decade ago, though the storylines are kept buried, wrapped in old newsprint. There's order amid uneasiness, the muezzins cry, the monks chant, baritones merging in their separateness. At the bus station, black coughs of exhaust smoke screen everything. The roads meet, and after the crossroad ritual, diverge, skating along the undotted line of control. A porous garland with cracked beads adorns Tiger Hill. Beyond the mountains are dark memories, and beyond them, no one knows. And beyond them, no one wants to know. Even the flight of birds that wing over their crests don't know which feathers to down. Chameleon-like, they fly, tracing perfect parabolas. I look up and calculate their exact arc and find instead a flawed theorem. If not, I'll be happy to sign books. Yeah? Okay, super. Thank you very much.